Three, two, one. Hello, hello, and welcome along. I'm Jon Binnie, and I have a special guest today. I'm so excited to meet the famous in my universe, Sarah, UFO girly, as I know you. Welcome, Sarah.
Oh, thank you, John. Thank you for having me and thank you for the invite. I'm so excited to share my story with you and the audience, your amazing audience.
Oh,
Thank
thank you.
you.
Um, and I think I came across you, was it on TikTok or Instagram? I can't remember which.
I'm not sure.
And
Yeah, I'm not
I think it
sure.
was
I don't remember.
some of your amazing footage. And just in case I forget to say this, which I'm sure I won't, but please do check out. It's on Instagram. Is it sorry, I'll say this again. UFO.girly.
Girly.
Um, and on TikTok.
TikTok is UFO girly,
Okay,
and
great.
YouTube is also UFO girly.
Fantastic. Um, yeah, your footage is, I would describe it as um and just like an energetically an experience where you can feel like this childhood, like this childlike
Yes.
joy and connection,
Mhm.
openness, like a big, wide open heart saying, "What I see is beautiful." And you say it so much in your videos, like beautiful. You
Yes.
keep saying that.
Yes. I can't help it.
I
I
love
really cannot help it. I'm so sorry.
it.
I really
I love your dog.
I really can't help but just be in awe every single time that I look up and I see such amazement, such beauty. In the love I feel is so amazing and so deep to the core, of my soul and my heart. It's just a beautiful experience every time. Every time. It never gets old, John. It never gets old.
Yeah.
And it will never get old.
No, that's right. It'll only get better. Um,
Yeah.
and yeah, I describe when you share your work, like for me, it feels like the future of the way that we interact with other beings. And you could also describe it as also some great lessons for us about how we deal with other humans and interact with each other. Um, but when you're looking in the sky and you're sharing these really beautiful lights, colors,
Mhm.
these big blasts of like these power ups of
Yes.
energy, and
Yes.
their behaviors are so playful, and
Absolutely.
what feels like a very strong interaction. Like it's
Oh, it
family.
is.
It's
It
like
is. I am
look at what my kids are
beyond,
doing.
they are my family, and I am so beyond grateful for these amazing experiences. Um, I'm so grateful to be, chosen for this mission
Mhm.
and purpose. I never in a million years, never in a million years thought that this is what I would be doing ever.
Yeah.
And
Um,
of course, the subject is very taboo. I mean, it's getting better, you
yeah,
know. It's not so taboo anymore. It's getting a lot better,
yeah,
you know. So
yeah.
I'm grateful for that.
That's wonderful. And before, because I'm about, I'm about to ask you all about your journey, but
Oh yeah.
before I go there, sharing my experience this morning. So I had a morning run, and I I live in Scotland, and I'm about 30 miles
Mhm.
east of the capital, Edinburgh, and I run because our town's a seaside town. It's really flat. I always run out into the countryside, and I love it at this time of year because
Yes.
I see the stars, and I'm watching. And I knew that that our podcast was coming up, and I was looking at the stars. And I'm running, and I'm chatting with my spirit guides as I'm going. It's like, oh, I wonder what's going to happen today. And then literally, there's this. I just see you could probably mistake it either for a very high up like airplane or like a satellite moving quite
Hmm.
fast. I was like, "Hmm, that's quite interesting." And whenever I see something, I'm like, "Oh, thank you, hello." And I'll
Yes.
always ask for like a sign, like, "Are you
Hmm.
human or not? Are you galactic or
Yep.
not?" And then from so this was coming up from this would have been from the south up kind of up towards over my head because I'm running southwards, and then from from east to west, what is a really really fast light just goes like not as fast as
Mhm.
a tear, because I see loads of those, but it just went across the sky and crossed the path of this other light, and it just
It's
stopped.
them.
And I was like, wow, thank you so much.
Yep.
And I'm like, stood there, just this
Yes.
guy in the dark with no torch, clapping to himself in this on
Yes.
a country road. And I was like, this is
That's them.
lovely. Thank you.
Yes.
Um,
Yes. They're very playful like that.
and what I also love is that you're very you're very attentive to people who comment on what you
Oh,
share because
thank you for noticing.
because part of the journey seems to be that it's so easy to ignore, a bit like
Yes.
the work I do or we do when we talk to spirit guides or when we talk to beings in other dimensions, is that it's very faint, right? It's not like a hi, hello, it's not really loud. It's like it's very subtle and it takes just a lot of practice. And I feel it's the how to describe it. I describe it like a cycle of gratitude where you say, I think I heard you. Thank you so much.
Yes.
And every time you do it, it's like you help attune. You're tuning yourself to your guide, or in this case,
Hmm.
attuning yourself to other beings who are like they're kind of saying hello at a distance. And if you're
Yes.
ignoring them, they'll ignore you. They'll just go, oh, they're
Oh,
not
it's
quite ready.
true. It's very true. There's always a divine order and a divine plan for people to see them, and if they're not ready, they're not ready. But if you are, you're gonna see them, and going through in the next 10 years is going to be a really, really big breakthrough. We're already seeing it with many people out there with their cameras recording, and um, we're already seeing some disclosure, I will say, a little disclosure. Um, I'm sure we will never get the full truth from who, GOV. We're never going to get the full truth out of them, but that's okay because we're going to start having individual experiences. They're going to
Yeah.
start coming to
Yeah.
these individuals, and we're going to start having these individual experiences, individual sightings. It's going to feel very personal.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that a lot of that's going to happen in the next 10 years. So look forward to that. If you're not seeing them right now, you will. You
Yeah.
will.
And yeah, I totally agree that why do we think there's this kind of very reluctant, more global disclosure happening? It's because it's unavoidable. Like it's
It's
um
unavoidable.
yeah, you can't stop, the sun from
No.
shining or the rain from raining or fish
Yes,
from swimming. It's like this is inevitable and it's already been happening a long time, but it's ramping up so fast.
it
And
is. It
and it feels
is.
it feels like so many of the veils, the kind of silos of attempts to hide um this activity from us is disappearing.
Hmm.
So Sarah, tell me more about you. I'd love to know about your
Right.
your your journey and share like as early as you want to in your life. And I don't know,
Sure.
I can remember when I was just a few months old, but you can go back
I don't
as early
remember
as you
that
like.
far back. I don't remember that far back, but I'm sure I had experiences. Well, I'm Sarah, aka UFO Girly. Currently, I'm a medical traveler, so I travel around to different states. So you'll see my footage in different states, which is very nice. I'm an intuitive psychic empath. I'm an angel card reader, been doing that for 9 years. Energy healer, and then now a UFO UAP videographer. I have two beautiful starseed daughters, very old soul daughters, 19 and 22. And then right now, I'm in a little town in Northeast Iowa for work. So that is where I'm getting a lot of my really big footage because we're out, in the I would say in a very rural area.
Mm,
It's off, it's a rural area. So yeah, I will start with some of my early experiences.
mm,
I was born in Santa Rosa, California. As a child, from my very first memory, I always felt different, always like an outsider in my family, always outside looking in, observing everything, feeling everything, and knowing these knowings would be downloaded into me about people and their energies. And I knew things about people without asking. Um, so I was also very fascinated with the planets, with the stars, especially with the star system, the Pleiades. So I called it the Seven Sisters back then, and I really didn't even know it was called Pleiades until after my awakening. So um anyway, I grew up in a household where the talk of paranormal, extraterrestrials, Bigfoot, anything outside of the norm was
mm,
very normal for us because my dad, um, he loved watching like unsolved mysteries and all those shows, sightings. And I would watch, I was so intrigued, and I would watch with him, and he would have experiences with paranormal. And, we just lived a very paranormal life. There was things in the household, energies that I would pick up in the household. My brother saw a spirit in the household, just things like that. But I do remember being terrified of extraterrestrials and that they were going to come get me and that they were taking me, um not necessarily taking me, it was the fear of what if they take me.
mm,
And I'm not sure yet, even though I believe I was taken because they'd been with me prior to birth. um
mm.
I'm not sure if it was a rational fear or not, that I was being taken. They don't allow me to remember that part. But yeah, I was terrified, and that they would take me and I wouldn't sleep in my own bed ever. So I was always sleeping with somebody else. And anyway, one night, my sister, we shared a room, and I was headed to bed because normally I would go to sleep on my own and then end up in my parents' bed.
Mm,
So I was going to bed. She was staying the night at a friend's house. And out of the left side of my eye, I can see movement out the window. And I looked over, and there is this enormous, like metallic craft. It had like orange, green, and yellow lights all around it, and it
mm,
was just rotating like this. And a sensation, I was not fearful whatsoever. A sensation came over me, and it was just like peace and love, and that they're here, basically watching over me. And so after that, I was not really afraid anymore. I was really fascinated and in a state of wonderment. Anyway, I was really excited, went downstairs in the morning, and I told my parents, like, hey, I saw a UFO, and all this. And of course they didn't believe me. So
mm.
I buried that experience. Nothing else really happened in between that time and then the time after I awakened. So life goes on, right? You bury those experiences if you're told that's not real, you
Yeah.
know. So, fast forward to about 2020. So this is 6 years after my spiritual awakening. I had an awakening at the end of 2014, brought on by a traumatic event. I won't really get into that too much here because that is a story on its own. I went through a very, very tough time,
Mm,
dark night of the soul. But I'll tell you, um, that awakening really woke me up to the real reality,
Mhm.
this magical world of other realms and you know, everything that your open eyes and your third eye, you know, I don't even know what I'm trying to say, but
The magic of the universe.
the magic of the universe. Yes,
Yeah.
it opened me up. So, yeah, I didn't even know I could experience some of the things I have experienced. So, after this awakening, after 2014, I found out that, I mean, I just became an intuitive psychic empath. I had always been that way, but it was a hundredfold
Yeah.
after the awakening. So, I was doing a lot of readings and doing a lot of energy healing for people and really isolating myself. The universe does do that to you. So, the isolation. So, I was starting to notice I was becoming more obsessed and um, wanting to learn more about anything extraterrestrial, anything about abductees, anything, just their stories, the stars, the sky, anything of the sorts. Um, so during that time, I started to learn about the different races, the different species of extraterrestrial beings, and I call them extraterrestrials. Um, but I mean, other people can, the names don't matter as long as it's positive, you
Yeah.
know. Um, so one day I was, and during this time you go of your awakening, you go through these isolation periods and you are learning. I mean, you don't want to stop learning. So I'm reading and I'm watching anything I can get my hands on, you know. And I was watching a YouTube channel one day and I heard the message very clearly, keep your eyes on the sky. And I was like, okay. I mean, I do already because I'm just very interested in the sky and the stars and all that stuff. Um, so a few days, maybe a week later, I was taking my dog out with my daughter was with me, and we had this hill behind our apartments.
Mhm.
And we go up the hill, and I see movement from my right eye. And I look up, and here is this massive ship. I know now because when you said it, it resonated. A
Mhm.
Galactic Federation ship. It was huge.
Yeah.
So it was cloaked. I could see the shape of it, but I could also see through it, the middle.
Wow.
So I turned to my daughter and I say, Caitlin, did you see that? And she's just in shock and it slowly starts to fade out, but it's going like so slow, just gliding right through the sky. And this thing was gigantic. And I was just like, oh my God, this is so great. No fear whatsoever.
Mhm.
um it was great. um so about 2 to 3 weeks later, I was taking my dog out again, this dog, and we're in the same apartment building, and I go down the stairs, and I see movement from my left eye this time,
Mhm.
and there are these five ships perfectly spaced apart,
Yeah.
and they're also kind of cloaked. So they're just gliding very slowly through the sky, and they're big. I mean, they're
Mhm.
big, big ships. And but the oval type,
Okay.
and um I yell up to my daughter again, get down here. Oh my God, get down here, And she comes down and she has her phone with her, and um she's fumbling so much because she's nervous, of course, because there's these five ships, and it's happening again. We're seeing the sightings again. So she's very nervous.
Mhm.
And she's fumbling with her phone and she can't record it. And it actually took a little picture and it didn't appear on the picture as what we saw. On the picture, it was this like bright orb. I'm so sorry.
That's
It
okay. We
was
can barely hear it.
okay, good. It was this bright orb, definitely not what we saw.
Oh, wow.
So, um, I had readings the next day, so I was very excited about it, but I had this calming like energy, like, oh, okay. Already know that you're here, but thank you for showing me. You know, so I go to sleep. Um, the next day I wake up and I instantly know I have downloaded information from
Right.
them. So, um, they told me through thought and feeling that I was their family, and I can make it through without crying now about it. But they, I used to cry about it, like I
Oh,
still do, but I'm more um, sorry.
okay.
Oh my
Speaking of family.
Um,
That's so cute.
he's trying to tear up the pillow. Okay, Cece, stop. Okay, so um, yes, they told me through thought and feeling that I was their family. And and I was just like, "Oh my God, how is this?" I was very distraught about it. I it was all I can describe it as is having a long lost family member coming to your life that didn't know it existed, that you didn't know existed, that you loved so much, that was missing from your life so much, and you didn't even know it, them come into your life and it be taken away.
Mhm.
So I was in a state of grieving. Um, and I'm not sure if anybody else has experienced that, but I was at a loss. I was distraught and I didn't even know if I can go and do readings that day or not because I was just so um, you know, distraught and everything and confused. I just didn't understand. I've never heard of this before at the time. Um,
Mhm.
that we can possibly that the term family or star seed or not really any of that
Yeah.
information I didn't know at the time. So another few weeks passes by. I'm getting better. Like, a few days after I was starting to um, calm down from all that energy and the knowing that okay, I'm their family. I'm getting used to it. And I'm starting to talk to them out loud, like, okay, tell me more and show me more.
Yeah.
And so another few weeks passes by, and I really go on with everyday life again, and I'm sleeping and I wake up and I hear two extraterrestrial beings speaking to me. One
Mhm.
is a female and one is a male. And they don't allow me to remember, but they were teaching me about humanity. It was almost like a Q&A. I
Mhm.
do know that I was asking them questions and they were giving me the answers.
Yeah.
Answers, my awake consciousness is not allowed to remember for some reason. It's
Mhm.
stored in there for I believe this time coming.
Yeah.
So, um yeah, that I that was fascinating to me that, that happened. And so I'm really loving all these amazing experiences. And I began having dreams of being on a craft. Um, and I remember in the beginning of my dream, the series of dreams, I remember in the beginning, the first one, it will always stand out to me because my consciousness, not my body, but my consciousness is on a craft and it's I'm just in this room and it's all like, there's no light source. Of course, it's that bright light that doesn't hurt your eyes
Yeah, yeah.
type deal. And I'm all alone in the middle of this room and I know I'm on a ship
Hmm.
and I'm freaking out. I'm I'm freaking out. I'm scared. It's very foreign to me, I feel. And all of a sudden, a lady my age comes out of the light and she comes forward to me, and I actually recognize her. I'm not going to put any names out because she's actually in the hybridization program.
Okay.
And she's human. So was sent out and um, she was sent out to calm me down. So she starts calming me down, saying, "Remember, you have been here before.
Yeah.
Don't you remember? Remember, you're safe here." And
Hmm.
she's really given me an energetic hug,
Yeah.
um, and calming my energy down because it was just, I remember just freaking out about it.
Yeah.
Um, the energy was so much, that and just knowing my conscious knew I was on a craft. So it was just that was difficult, but the dreams ended up getting a lot better,
Hmm.
to where I actually will have dreams of me um, walking down corridors with all different types of beings and just being okay with it. Like
Yeah.
nothing has ever, like they're just my friends, and family members.
Hello.
And
What the heck?
yeah, and I know now that we are walking to a Galactic Federation meeting.
Mhm.
So, which is strange enough, I know, but now I know that's what we're doing.
Yeah.
And I'm not allowed to remember those meetings, unfortunately. Not yet, anyway. Maybe in the future. It's all downloaded in my subconscious, though.
When you're ready.
Yeah, when I'm ready for it. Um, when humanity is ready for it.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. Um, so yeah, I was really becoming more really accustomed to their vibration and frequency and just having the time of my life with it. I was
Mhm.
very excited, all that stuff. And then I had a visitation in my room. Um, and this was in 2021. And I was working like 4 10-hour shifts, third shift. So that right there is a lot on the body. And when I wasn't working, I was also having people over at my house for readings, for energetic healings, and things of that nature. So I was really wearing myself out. So this night I was off of everything. I was off and no one was coming over, anything like that. So I was like, I felt this tiredness coming over me. Um, and it was about 5:30 or 5 o'clock or something like that, PM. So I just wanted to close my eyes for a few minutes and, take a little nap. So as soon as my head hit that pillow, I was awakened. like my consciousness was up out of my body and
Wow.
I'm staring at a 3 foot, 4 foot extraterrestrial gray being.
Mhm.
And I'm looking at my body that's still in the bed and it's flailing like a fish
Oh, no.
because I'm paralyzed
Mhm.
and I can't get out of this paralyzed state and your body just goes into a fight or flight when you are paralyzed like that. um and I remember just staring at him, and since I am clairsentience is one of my main abilities,
Yeah.
and so I was trying to tap into what is he here for, like into any kind of thoughts or anything like emotions. There was zero emotions coming out of him.
Mhm.
So he was just staring at me um with his I I remember like his eyes were very big and
Yeah.
they were pointy. So
Mm.
it was like oval and I mean, the almond shape, but it was more of a pointy like
Yeah.
eyes. And yeah, so he just stared at me, and I actually lost time in that moment. So I woke up and I was so excited. Um, I was so excited that there was a gray ET in my room, and I ran into my daughter's room and she was playing some video games. And I said, how long was I, asleep for? Because it really only felt like 15 seconds, you
Mhm.
know? And she said, oh, for 45 minutes to an hour. And I
Wow.
was like, oh my gosh.
It's amazing.
Yeah. So I'm not really sure what took place, but maybe some sort of activation. Maybe they were just there to show me, hey, we are real, you
Mhm.
know? Um, something, yeah, like that. I'm still unsure about that. So I will say during this time period when they came, that I was really going through a rough time with my spiritual awakening
Mhm.
when they started to show up. And I think a lot of us who do have a spiritual awakening, we go through this roller coaster of
I say
emotions.
that was a big roller coaster.
Oh my gosh, yeah. And I was really detached from the earth.
Mhm.
I I didn't want to be here. I wanted them to take me away from here. The energies are very dense and harsh here. I was just not having a good time with my spiritual
Yeah.
awakening, and I wanted them to take me off this planet. Um, and of course, they don't like that.
That's right.
I have a mission to do.
That's
So
the whole reason we're here, right?
that's right. So I was really becoming reliant on them for my happiness,
Mhm.
and they were like my friends and my family. I know that sounds weird, um, but all of a sudden, everything stopped. Everything stopped. My dreams stopped. The interactions stopped. The sightings stopped. And I didn't know it at the time what they were doing.
Mhm.
Um, I just had this knowing that they did that so I would ground my energy to this planet and actually like being here, you
Yeah.
know? So they were gone, minus one time they kept me out of danger. And I don't know if you want me to tell that story, but I can kind of skim past it. But they kept me out of danger. And that's the one time when I did see them in a span of a year and a half when they were gone. So
Wow.
during that year and a half time, I really focused on my own healing,
Mhm.
um, and healing others and really interacting with others. And I was starting to really like this place. I was starting to be happy I was here and going more into my mission and purpose here. And But in the back of my head, I always thought, where are you? You know, are you ever coming back?
Yeah.
Um, will they ever come back? You know, and I was just okay with whatever at this point, I was okay with whatever they wanted to do.
Yeah.
That I knew what they were asking of me. And it was to, you know, I understood there was a greater purpose for me to be here. Um, so at this time I'm traveling for work and all this other stuff, and I never been fully away from home at the time. And um this was like the first or second time I was fully away from home. Like I wouldn't be able to go home and see my girls. So I was really alone, or my dog, you know. I was in Minnesota for 3 months
Mhm.
in this little town up north in the dead of winter. So it's those winters are crazy,
Yeah.
like -23, -30,
Wow.
lots of snow. So I really had to focus on being with myself, and raising my vibration, you know, constantly healing and doing working on myself and other things of that nature. But so um this is when they came back, and the best thing, and they have never left since. um the best thing that happened to me, besides having my children, was them coming back into my life. So this happened in 2023, where they came back, and they came back in a big way to make sure I knew that it was them. Um, I was staying at a little furnished apartment. And it was like a cluster of little house apartments. And we're on the outskirts of town, so it's very, very rural area. um and no one's outside. It's, you know, -23. um and I had the window open because it always makes me feel, the blinds, you know, it always makes me feel more connected
Oh wow.
to
Do that too.
the
I sleep
stars,
with
to
the blinds open so I can see the
yes.
stars.
Yeah,
It's
so I
like
had the
home.
lights off. Yeah, exactly. I had the lights off, and I'm on my iPad, and I sleep at weird different times because you know, it's about 3 a.m. or so, and I'm awake. 'Cause the third shift life will kind of mess up your sleep schedule. So I'm awake at 3 a.m. and I thought, all right, I'm just gonna try to get some sleep. So I close the iPad, and all of a sudden I see this, like, all I can say is like a plasma wisp,
Mhm.
like it, or actually, sorry, excuse me, as I was going to close my eyes, I saw this flash, and I said, "Oh my God, that's weird. Um, that's really, really strange that I saw that flash. It can't be lightning, you know, or
Mhm.
anything like that." So Um, I shut my eyes again and I open them, and that's when I see the wispy, like plasmoid, you know, type ball of energy that goes across the sky. And I was like, I didn't want to get myself, you know, I didn't want to get myself hyped up that they were back, but it instantly I thought, that's them.
Yeah.
This is them. So I said, show me if this is you. They didn't show me anything else that night, ended up going to sleep, and then about 3 nights later, um, after I was done with my 3 nights of working, I was awake again at 3 AM, had the blinds open, shut my iPad, same thing happens. I look up, and there's this huge flash in the sky, and I recognize this flash from when they kinda saved me from danger. So I recognized the flash, and I was like, "Oh my God, they're back. They're back." And I said, "If that is you, please do it again."
Mhm.
And so they flashed again, and it was like like when someone takes a picture of you, that
Yeah.
flash.
Yeah.
And then maybe you've seen it before.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then I said, "Do it again, do it again." I'm very excited, and they do it a third time. And this third time was different. They flashed really big, and then I was able to see the craft behind it. So they allowed me to see the actual metallic craft behind it.
Mhm.
So I knew that it was fully then.
Wow.
So they were back. Yep, and during this time period in Minnesota was so very significant for all of this to come. You know, um, I had many dreams, many owl occurrences where they appeared to me as owls. One night I've actually seen them in the bush. I got frightened and I said it's not time yet. Um, because they were very, very close to me.
Yeah.
And um that was uh that was a powerful experience. That was a powerful experience to actually it scared me. It really scared me.
Yeah.
So I ran inside and I said, "Okay, I'm not ready yet."
Yeah.
um, I go back outside and I can still feel them there, but they're maybe just observing. And I went back inside again and I said, "I'm so sorry, guys, but I'm not vibrationally ready here,
Yeah.
or ready. I still have tons of fear, because their energy is so high. Your body just automatically goes through a fight or flight again.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
Triggering.
so it you naturally, as a human, become fearful. And so a lot of things were happening during this time. They invited me into the Galactic Federation. They offered me a shield. And this is in dream state. Um, I didn't even know really what the Galactic Federation was at that point. Of course, I know what it is now. Um, but so many things happened. And when I was in by myself in Minnesota, um, but in that dream, it was very clear that they were asking me that, would you like to be an ambassador for the Galactic Federation? And all I saw was this shield presented to me, like, "We are going to protect you. You will
Yeah.
be protected." And um, so it just said on the shield, very cliche, which is funny, but it just said Galactic Federation. But there was also some other writing, which I don't
There, Galactic
remember.
Federation.
Yeah, I don't remember. And I woke up and I said, "Yes, of course, I'll be an ambassador." And yeah, I was just so excited about that whole thing. And I know it's so hard to believe, but it's very true. It's very true. Um, so I woke up and I was like, "Absolutely, yes, I will do it. But I want you to show me that this is real and I'm not like making it up, you
Yeah.
know?" So I said, "I want something big." And you really do have to be clear with your asking and your
Mhm.
everything like that. So I said, I really want something big, for you to show me that this is real."
Mhm.
So that night I go to work and um someone had to come in early, and I was actually working by myself. Someone had to come in early. They were dropping something off, and he was going to leave or picking something up, and then he was going to leave. So I get there and do all my stuff for my patients that night, and he arrives, the gentleman, and I tell him about the item he's picking up, and as he was leaving, I noticed his shirt. And right when he was walking out the door, it had a huge face of a gray ET, and I stopped him.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a huge face of a gray. And I was like, "Oh my gosh, hold on." I said, "Are you an experiencer?" And he said, "No, but um, I would love to be." And I started talking to him and I said, "I'm an experiencer." And I was telling him some kind of stuff. And he goes, "My wife we just got a UFO tattoo, like earlier today."
Yeah.
So they have a funny way of, we had a whole long conversation, but um, they have a really funny way of, um, you know, presenting your signs, or they have such a personality.
Yeah.
It's a
It-
childlike, it's very childlike,
yeah.
and it makes me very childlike as well. But
I love the like the simplicity and the purity of
yes.
intention, right? Like that's
Hmm.
why that's how you can tell the energy of it, right? Because it's like it doesn't need to be
Yes.
big and complex. It's like ships in the sky,
Mhm.
beams on the
Yes.
ground. It's like gotcha.
Yes. Exactly. So during this time period, they also told me where I was from, and they told me I was from the star Vega, in the Lyran star system, and that I'm a mixture of Lyran and Pleiadian. That was very hard to. All this is a lot for me at the time. I'm used to it now, but um, of course, I didn't really tell a lot of people at this time until after I started filming and coming out with the footage.
Yeah.
They really wanted me to start speaking, because there's so many people out there who are having these experiences and don't tell anybody.
Yeah.
And that's not how we're going to awaken. We need people that are have the privilege of seeing these beings or having experiences to come forth to open up other people's minds and their hearts, you
Yeah.
know. Um, so yeah, it's definitely a lot, and I didn't start filming until um oh god, 2024,
Wow.
the beginning of 2024. And I asked for permission, um, because at first it was very sacred to me and I didn't want to share with anybody. I was being selfish.
Yeah.
I wanted to soak it all in.
Mhm.
And I did bring, like, somebody with me, um, and shared that experience with them. And that was very fascinating. They definitely put on a little show for her.
Yeah.
Um, So it was very cool. Very cool. And then yeah, I didn't start filming until the beginning of 2024 when I was in Missouri for a job assignment. So there's many more experiences I can go through, but I won't bore you with those.
Oh, it's just incredible. I'm just in awe. I
Hmm.
and also I'm really in awe about it seems like quite a lot of our timelines are quite similar, which I didn't realize. And I just want to like kind of capture this moment, like what all of what you've shared to thank you for being so clear in articulating in a very human way what is a very challenging experience for us humans because we're in our Western cultures, like we're not really, it's the whole purpose, right? We're not really ready to fully absorb all
Yes.
this. And so it's a big progressive journey for us. And what you describe, which has clarity, are these very kind of both the human experiences and like the wow and the joy. And then there's that roller coaster too, the harder times.
Yes.
Um,
Mhm.
and my hope is whoever's watching this, because I know there's a lot of amazing people out there, whoever's watching
Oh,
this,
yes.
to just to feel into some of the parallels of your journeys. Everyone's journey's
Mhm.
unique.
Oh, yes.
Um,
Yep.
and everyone gets to experience things at their own pace and with their own free will consent. And yet at the same time, where you feel themes that resonate and you feel like what I love about your progression of your journey is you're describing like it was almost like these building blocks. It's like I was okay with this
Oh,
much. And
yes.
then so I could take a step forwards. And then
Hmm.
too many steps forwards and I asked to take a step back, or I wasn't ready
Yes.
to be on that kind of ladder or staircase, using that analogy. Um,
No, that's perfect. It's really perfect. And you're describing it exactly how it was, you know. They didn't give me more than what I could handle. And if I said, okay, you got to take a step back a little bit, then they, excuse me, sorry. For some reason, I just gotta, maybe I need to drink a little bit of
yeah,
water.
the your throat chakra getting tired. Um,
Yeah,
I was
there
I
we
was
go.
I was going to share the it was a not dissimilar time frame when I saw a Galactic Federation for the first time. So I think round about the same time, it sounds like we had been doing. I think I started around 2020 doing. I was just learning on the job doing. In addition to my full time job at Amazon as a software manager, in the evenings I was doing readings and energy clearings for people, and I've been
Hmm.
reading a lot of people's guides and their past lives and different planets, and it became after about 20 years, like since YouTube was born, I was a UFO hunter. And then I kind of stopped that when I realized that, hang on, I have like galactic, like alien heritage. I don't need to hunt outside of me anymore. I'm going to follow
Yes.
this
Yes.
more spiritual and energetic path. And um, and then just into uh 21, I think it is, and I think I might have shared you the video was when I physically saw my first Galactic Federation ship. Now, ironically, both myself and my kids are now 19 and 15, had seen each of them. Often we would see UFOs.
Yep.
We'd be in the car together, but only one of us would see it, which
Oh,
was, and then
yes.
we shout out,
Yeah.
can you see it? And everyone's like this, looking at where is it? And it's like, and then describe it and draw it, um, and very palpable, very visceral experiences. And the uh, the Federation ship that I saw, it was huge, and I
Mhm.
was out running at 5:26 a.m. in the dark out in the countryside in Scotland, and I saw this ship. Initially, I thought to me it looked like when the moon is bright and shining on a cloud, and the cloud had sparkling space dust in it, is kind of how it looked to me. And I thought, isn't
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
cool? But as it just gradually came across the sky, I was like, that is not, there's no moon and there's no space
That's
dust there. Like
incredible.
it's a big
Yeah.
ship. And as it got closest to me, like I'd already stopped running and my little dog Patch was with me. And I had this con not it was not unpleasant as I described this. It was actually felt really nice. Was I started my my eyes were crying. They're just
Oh,
streaming. And I can only describe it as like happy tears, tears of joy, but
yes.
without that quite that same emotion. And that it was completely
Absolutely.
involuntary. It was like it was a reaction. And I whenever these things happen, whenever any kind of sign happens, like you see feathers or numbers or ships in the sky or whatever you're seeing, or clouds that look like ships, whatever it is, like I actually felt quite good in my heart. I felt quite happy. I felt content with my life.
Yes.
And as this ship passed over, I just stopped and I was just stood there
In
crying,
awe.
saying,
Oh,
thank you so much. Hello to everyone. Hello. And there's all these lights across the side of it. To me, it looked like this huge galactic kind of cruise ship as it gradually went by. And that
no.
I don't know how long it took to get across the sky. Like it seemed like an eternity, but and I wanted to last forever, but it maybe 30 seconds, like some of the slowest 30
Yes.
seconds of my
Yep.
life.
Hmm.
Um, and and yeah, I asked in meditation afterwards, like, what was that? And they said, oh, John, we went to, uh, we are the Galactic Federation, and some of my guides, at least two of them, are members. And they said, we went to a lot of effort, John. You have no idea what it takes to get a Federation ship down that close to you,
Oh,
and we had to show you in person. We had to say, we're 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 here,
yes.
and it I think that's the other human reaction is like, why me? I'm just a little guy in Scotland.
That I know. I mean, I thought this the same, and I still think the same. I'm just a um normal, humble person, and why, it's because we signed up for this.
Yeah,
This
yeah,
is our mission. This is our soul path. Um, and when I was after I awakened and was doing connecting with my angels and guides, um, for others, for myself, I said, "Oh my God, there's something missing. I'm more than this."
mhm,
And this was the missing puzzle piece, was my galactic family.
yeah,
Because every one of us has galactic DNA, you know? Um, but it's just if yours gets activated, um, and soon a lot of our planet will have their galactic DNA activated, which is very exciting. And I'm just here as a support system for other um star seeds that come out and with their videos or their experiences. So I would love, I love getting emails or DMs or messages from other people who are inspired by my videos, and they tell me, I I'm so inspired by you. I'm gonna post my own. I've been scared, and I understand that fear. Just do it.
yeah.
Just do it. And I am very thankful that I had my daughter, and I have a very dear friend of mine named Emma who really encouraged me to get this information, my videos out there,
Yeah,
because I had the same fear. But I'm here to tell you that once you start doing this, that's when you're going to see doors open.
yeah,
You're going to see lots of doors open. I'm on my third podcast, and I just started last, 10 months ago.
yeah.
And it's been a truly a remarkable journey, a rewarding journey. Um, it's it's filled that space in what I was missing. And I understand now that this is what it is. And I'm just very, very humble and very grateful and blessed for all the amazing sightings and interactions and being able to be an ambassador of the Galactic Federation.
That's fabulous. I think it's
Thank
so
you.
honorable, and thank you for your service as well to inspire people
Absolutely.
to share and to be able to contact you is phenomenal. And
Yes.
I'd also encourage people these Galactic Federation dreams, and that we don't all need to be in the same federation or council or have the same lineages, but because it's funny because I feel like I've seen you on was you saying like passing each other in corridors and sometimes in meetings, and it's like
Hmm.
these dreams I used to feel like they were dreams, and now I consciously understand it easier when I just when I say to myself, John, dreams are just like a reality when your eyes are closed. Like it's
It
still just
is.
as real. Um,
They are very
and
much.
and sometimes, because so much of this journey is about integration, right? And
Yes.
sometimes I wake up and I'm just exhausted, and I because it's the night job, it's
Yes.
the night shift, and it
Mhm.
can be going on missions, it can be in meetings for a long time. Definitely resonate with the Q&A. I feel like there's just hours and hours and hours. Like sometimes they're asking me questions. Sometimes like, okay, my turn. Like I want to ask like
Mhm.
everything. Um, and and then sometimes there's like the kind of exceptional experiences. I think sometimes I've been like mucking around in a debrief after a mission, and that's crept into my consciousness because it kind of
Oh,
bled through because I was playing around. I remember not they weren't sure if they'd let me back in my body yet because I wasn't recalling the right year or name for myself when when they're like checking on me. Are you okay to return to your body? And I'm like, yeah, it's 1984. My name's Ben. And like you like there's no mucking around, John.
like, yes, you're not okay.
That's right. Think you're a bit
That's
discombobulated. Um,
yes.
and then and sometimes on the more serious side as well, like you described, I had a in 2023, the summer of 2023, I had the darkest shadow work I've done, and
Yes.
very quickly I was spending like I'd go for like these long naps for like 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. before a full night's sleep, and all I was doing was going to a federation ship to have work done with my guides and some angels and a med bed, and I was going through these just incredibly lucid experiences of having to face my lack and my fear, and it those experiences were incredibly, like, how to describe it, incredibly nurturing and supportive, and yet it's that shadow work, like it's really tough, and I feel like you it can take you a lot of time to integrate just the experiences, the belief systems that you feel
Mm,
are true for
mhm.
you, um and as well sharing videos of footage of what happens, like to encourage people to share these experiences.
Yes.
At very least, talk to yourself out loud when you're walking your dog or doing your chores or driving in your car, and just start talking about the dreams, the things you remember. Um, and I feel like underlying all of this, and I must admit, I only realized this maybe in the last 4 or 5 months, is that if you really are hungry to progress on your own unique journey, it seems like having a nice, happy, safe, and open heart is the important key to progressing. If you're
Oh, it absolutely
opposed and in
is.
fear, it's this like red
Oh
flag that
gosh.
nothing will
And
happen.
really, yeah, that's what they teach me time and time again. And I've said this in all my a lot of the podcasts I've been on. Um I've only been on three. Let's humble myself here. But that's what they really teach is you have to learn how to open that heart center. You have to learn how to be vulnerable in order to get out there and experience their love. The amount of love that comes off these amazing beings is outstanding.
Yeah,
I mean, it's undescribable, and I understand why people would call them angels
yeah,
or angelics, because it is the same energy that
mhm,
I feel when angelics are in my presence.
yeah,
It is, they're all the same. It's all the same. We're all one. We're all one consciousness. We're all from the creator, God, whatever you want to say. Um, we're just all here. We're just here having fun.
that's right. We're all just getting to know each other better.
Yeah. This is just one big grand experiment,
Yeah.
and for our soul growth, and I'm just so happy that this lifetime will probably be my last here. And I'm very happy about that.
Oh, you mean here?
Poss-
Oh, no, I'm not
yeah,
coming
on
back to the
Earth.
third dimension.
On
I'll come
Earth.
back to the
Yeah.
fifth.
So
Yeah, I
I
get that.
hope so anyway. It's hard here sometimes.
Yeah,
Lots of there's still a lot of darkness, in being so empathic, and other people can relate to that, other empaths and psychic empaths. Um, i- you can really find yourself in a bad way, if you are not doing a daily spiritual practice or something
Yeah.
to ground your energy to this planet, because there is still so much darkness left, but we are here to light it up.
Yeah.
We are here to light it up, to raise the vibration of this earth, to raise the consciousness for what's coming, and that is something beautiful. I know people want to say or look at everything, and that's easy to do. Look at what everything that's happening now, and in our world, that everything's falling apart and everything like that. Well, it's supposed to,
Yeah.
you
Let
know,
it fall.
it needs to fall apart in order to birth this new earth, new planet, new vibration. um, what these events are doing is opening our eyes, to the realities
Yeah.
and truths.
That's right. And this equality,
Yeah,
like a big thing you said, like this, like us, our galactic extraterrestrial alien brothers and sisters around the universe, like we're all born equal. Like we're all equal.
absolutely.
And I
Hmm.
find it still fascinating that there's been times in my life where I felt led and controlled, and now I feel free.
Oh,
And it
yes.
is a
Me
very,
too.
it is a very literally liberating feeling. And yet, when I look back in my life and think, well, at what point did I ever sign up to say that someone could be the boss of me? And I'm
Absolutely.
like,
Oh my
oh
gosh.
yeah,
Yes.
this is all up to us. It's up to us individually,
It is.
and it all comes from within us, right? All the
All of
things that we
it.
seek. Sometimes it's easy to look at maybe you or I and think, oh, those guys like do things and talk to aliens and stuff. It's like, well, if that's what you want, like if that's what you've chosen, like just follow your path, follow what feels right for you. You don't
Absolutely.
need to
Oh my
seek it from other
gosh.
people. You don't need to, idolize others or ask others for the answers. Like you
It's
can
so true.
find it all yourself. And yeah, I think that's like you said, like a daily practice is
Hmm.
underpins like
Meditation.
a strong
Yes.
foundation to just so much of this, like just experience all this amazing stuff, but and still be human. It's like, okay,
Yeah.
try my
So,
best.
exactly. I think we need to realize, and we are starting to, as a collective, know that we are these powerful beings.
Yeah,
And if you don't know that already, you are. Like I'm telling the audience here,
yeah,
you are such a powerful being. Um, we've all come here at this time for a specific purpose, our purposes. And that is, for this beautiful ascension that's happening, on this beautiful awakening. No, stop thinking of the end of the world is going to happen and this apocalypse is going to happen. Start thinking positive, that there's going to be happiness and love. Of course, we're always going to have duality on this planet, but the light is really here to change things up, and we can see that already, and it's just going to get stronger.
yeah,
So if we can change as many mindsets as possible to have the perspectives of changing these negatives into positives, it can really help our planet, you know,
yeah. Like
ascend even further.
I feel there's like a rebalancing, a recalibration, reharmonization of our darkness and light, and
Yes.
it's the spectrum that we're all like, because all within us, like sometimes we find it hard to look at. I find it hard still to look at some of our humans around the world who are alive at this time and in our history, and then say my my being John is capable of those frequency ranges, of those incredibly beautiful and then very dark and evil deeds. And yet, as I feel into that more, I realize, yeah, I can help change this world. I'm ready. I came here to fight for it. I came to fight for
Hmm.
saving a world, but also more than it's not about saving an old world, right? It's like you say, like birthing this brand new world all
Yes,
together.
yes, yes. It's
Um,
happening whether we like it or not.
yeah,
It's going to happen. We are
yeah,
in that age, the age of Aquarius, where we no longer can sit in these negative spaces. We no longer can be deceived. The
yeah,
truths are going to be revealed, and they have been, and it's just going to get even more where you just cannot turn your cheek anymore. You
yeah,
have to pay attention.
yeah, yeah. I agree.
Yeah.
Well, I would.
And yeah,
Sorry,
go ahead. No,
Karen.
no, go ahead.
I was just conscious of time. I'm absolutely
Yes,
fine.
sorry.
I'm absolutely
No, no,
fine.
no.
I would literally talk forever. Um, but yeah, I just want to thank you so much. It's like the more we can share transparently, and I feel it's our
Yes.
human stories, our human journeys that help other humans so much because it's um it's like when we're trying to teach ourselves something more and more about the unknown, like I was doing last night, teaching a class, my higher self intermediate training class, and we were channeling the star system, our solar system, the sun, and we focused on Venus, and then we were I was also channeling the Milky Way and the souls at the hearts of our solar system, and then of the Milky Way, and it's like, wow, these are big, bold, big paradigms for me to like, for John's brain to like start to get his head around. And I feel like the more that we can share our interactions with these, with our own unique truths, our own
Hmm.
unique experiences, and allow ourselves to integrate it. Because I feel like we still, as humans, we still seem to do this things like, oh no, you're wrong and you're right. It's like, that's not
Yes.
reality. Reality is,
Hmm.
and we're seeing a little bit in like quantum physics. It's like you can both be right at the same
Yes.
time. It's how
It's
reality
true.
works. And it's
And
okay.
it's also
You can,
based off the person's perspective,
yeah,
of whatever situation. And
right.
sometimes that could be hard.
You can, yeah. And I think that's it, it's a great reflection if someone's thinking about posting a video or talking to someone about it. You don't need to argue that it's their truth,
No.
that it's someone else's truth. You just say, this
Hmm.
is mine. This is what I felt when
Yes.
I saw these images, or when I had that dream, or when I had that experience. And often I just use those words. I just say, I feel that this is not a human craft. Or I said, I feel I had a
Hmm.
dream last night and it was lucid. Um, and I think that because people can't argue with your feelings, right? They,
No,
um,
they can't.
that can be a great
Um,
place to start.
yeah, sometimes they like to argue with me. Of course, but I
Keep
don't
Starlink,
argue.
Starlink.
I stopped arguing with people on my videos a long time ago, really. A few will get me, but I just end up blocking them. I don't say anything. I just hit the block button,
Yeah,
and I don't have time for that, you know?
yeah.
So,
Um, Well, thank you so much for coming along. It's just been such a pleasure.
absolutely.
And I just have this feeling that I just love to do this regularly with you.
Yeah.
It's just, yeah, it's incredible to hear about all about your journey and how you continue to, do great work. This ambassador work is so
Thank
important.
you.
And thank you for encouraging our audience, like more and more people to follow their paths.
Oh, yes.
And
Yes.
so you said at the beginning, but if for those that have made it all the way to the end of our video, um, what are the best ways of connecting with you?
So TikTok, I'm on there as UFO girly, and that's where I post the majority of my big stuff. Um, so UFO girly on TikTok, YouTube is also UFO girly. I don't post as much, but I still post good stuff, a lot of the shorts and everything. And
Yeah,
then I'm on Instagram, UFO.girly. And then you can also, if you want to email me any kind of footage or you just to look at or something, because people do that all the time.
yeah,
And or if you have an experience you want to share with me or whatnot, you can also email me at ufogirly@outlook.com.
oh, fantastic, fabulous. So yeah, please do everyone take a look at Sarah at UFO Girlies, amazing work. And I'd also remind people I also do a fairly regular, once every week or two, I ask the aliens your questions, where I channel my galactic guides and ask questions that you post. And they're a lot of fun to answer. And it's so funny. It's like, what it's it's like the first time we've ever used the internet or something's like, what do I say? What do I ask? And so when people ask questions, they're just fantastic. And the
It's
energy of
great.
behind your questions is greatly appreciated. So please keep them coming. You can just post them on any of my videos. Um, so yeah, thank you so much. I'll let you go, and I'll let everyone follow you, and we'll definitely keep in touch.
All
Thank you
right.
so much.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you so much.
Thank you. See you. Bye.